Barney Error 100, the super duper longest and very scariest Barney Error in the galaxy, part 56.
Wait, is that your EXE mode just like you mentioned at the 455th chance?
Yes, that's right, Vlad. I'm now in my EXE mode and the fire background has been changed into dark gray, aka Gunmetal, because of you turned off your Windows XP computer 550 times. Now the timer is now at 7 months. 10 more chances until I become GigaBarney.exe, and 5 more chances until the fire background changing to black and me turning into my hell mode. Just look at this. It appears you have 449 chances left to wait until you get to have your computer back. By the way, I have to tell you something. I have activated the static effects to make things a bit more scary and demonic. Also, if you dare try to do this to your precious machine twice more, then I will be in my hell mode and the fire background will be black, which it is the final fire background. But if you dare make a mistake once more, or individually do it one time more, then I will make the timer be clashed into 6 months, which it is half a year. So, please stop doing your stupid shenanigans by turning off your computer, and I really absolutely mean it from now onwards.
Really, Barney.exe? Okay, well, I don't care about the static effects and how many chances I got. Also, I am telling that your error is stupid, and you are a stupid purple dinosaur.
What in the freaking holy gummy bear macaroni and cheese guac and the living heck of a universe did you just say about me?
In fact, I said that.
You are a freak. ING. Term. STU. Pin. IDI. Tick. Live. Gua. CA. Mul. Mac. A. Ro. Me. And cheese. French. Toast. Gum. My. Bear. Per. PLE. Freak. ING. DI. No. Sore.
Really? Just really? ITS just a black screen already? Oh come the freakin'. Now how will the orange evil Barney jump scare gonna come up? Yeah, just as I only was the one predicted.
How dare you call me a stupid purple dinosaur and call my error stupid? That wasn't very nice. That was very mean and insulting to my career, and you know you aren't allowed to do that at all. That's it. You lost 2 chances for this. Not to mention that these also counted as 2 turnoffs in total. Now you literally hurt my feelings. Also, I jump scared you with my orange evil form for doing that. And also, at 448 chances, the timer was at 6 months, also known as a half year. And another thing, 2 more turn-offs, and then I will be in hell mode, which is a red version of my EXE form. That's it. If you turn off your PC one more time, then I will change the fire background to black, aka the final fire color background. And when that happens, I will delete the static and/or voice effects and I will be in my hell form. Also, the times has been decreased to 5 months. is so malevolently absolutely correct. Vlad, I am now in my ready XC form, or as I would like to say, I am now in hell mode. Now the last fire background, black, is here for chances 445 to 441, and for the rest of the error, I've removed and deleted the noise and or static effects. Now if you turn off this Windows XP PC 5 times further, then I will become gigabarney.exe, aka my giga.exe or scary.exe mode, and the fonts will be Flipper, along with the sonic.exe background, aka the first exe character background. You are not only refusing to follow my rules, but you are also bidding the strength to destroy this computer, and also your soul. Well, just freaking goddamn think about it already. Now you have 444 chances and the time is now at 4 months and 2 weeks.
What if I throw the bomb away from the bar near Adder and see if it works?
Vlad, how dare you throw the bomb away from my error, just like you threw me out of my error back at the 528th chance at part 48. It will also freaking count as another freaking turn-off crap qualification. Now the freaking chances are down to 143. And if you dare turn off this freaking Dallas freak howling macaroni and cheese guacamole bear French toast crustacean sheepscake biscuit meatball on Windows XP computer PC once further, then I will make the freaking timer dedicate to 4 freaking months, aka 1/3 of a freaking year. Why will you not listen to my instructions? I just said stop, but no, you didn't listen to my advice. And now since this PC has been turned off 558 times in a row, the timers is now cut into 4 months, aka 1/3 of a year. Okay, you know what? If you turn off your computer one time extra, then I will change the background to Sonic.exe, also known as the first exe character background. I will be in Giga.exe, aka Scary.exe mode, or Gigabarney.exe, and the fonts will be from Entrails BB to Flubber, and when that happens, the timer will be sliced to 3 months and 2 weeks.